Hey there! Welcome to the Distracted Librarians podcast. We're your friendly neighborhood bookworms with a penchant for all things pop culture.
Picture this as our digital campfire, where we dive into our latest obsessions, analyze our favorite distractions, and rediscover the joy of reading.
Whether you're a media enthusiast, a book lover, or just need a break from the daily grind, you've come to the right spot.
So kick back, relax, and get delightfully distracted with us.
Hey everybody! On this episode of the Distracted Librarians, we are going to talk about how we choose books for different purposes. I'm Nicole.
I'm Drew.
I'm Killian.
I'm Amanda.
Okay, so we all choose books for different reasons, right?
Constantly.
Constantly, especially if we're helping patrons, right?
I would say it's my number one activity.
Especially when you can't take a break between books. I don't know. I get to that point where I'm like, what's the next thing? What am I going to do now? And there's, a laundry list of books to choose from. How do we choose those books?
I have that problem if I finish a book before 9 p.m. for whatever reason.
Oh, goodness.
If I finish a book at 9:02, I'm like, okay, my brain can be done for the day.
Okay.
But if it's anything before that, then I'm immediately like, well, there's still time to read.
Oh, my goodness.
Because the library closes at 9, so you're still in work
You're
mode.
Stop it.
Absolute library brain.
That might be the actual, oh my God.
You're conditioned.
That's
I'm sorry.
terrifying. I mean, good for you, but
I'm
still
having
kind
a-
of terrifying.
Yeah. I'm having a revelation.
Drew did not expect these insights in this episode.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, personal reading, like when we think about, just choosing books for ourselves and not necessarily for our patrons, is it about a vibe? Is it?
I think it's a mood.
It's a mood.
Yeah,
Okay.
vibe. How do I need to feel? Do I need comfort? Do I need excitement?
Am I riding the high from the last book I just read and now I have to find everything written by this author?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's something for me is there's times where I'll finish a book and I'll be like, okay, I need something exactly like this. And then there's other times where I'm like, okay, I read that. I need a complete vibe shift.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not consistent on what kind of books it is or something. It's just in the moment, what do I need right now? Do I need more of the same? Do I need something new?
Sure.
Yeah, I tend to have a list in my head of the next 4 or 5 books that I want to start. And then when I finish a book, it'll be like, hey, what feels correct off of this list?
Okay.
Based on how I'm feeling coming out of the last one.
Sure. And then sometimes if you read it wrong, then you just pick the wrong book and you have to go back to the drawing board again. But usually I'll just troll right through, keep on going. Oh my goodness.
If I feel burned out by a book in the first 3 chapters, I'll stop.
Okay.
And then after that, it's like I've committed now.
I'm
in this.
It used to be that I would never TBR a book. I would never put one down, Now it's like I'll give it 100 pages. And even then, sometimes I'm like, this just isn't for me.
I have a stopped halfway through list.
Oh.
And that's sort of tells me something. It wasn't exciting enough or engaging enough. Which it might also just be my mood.
Yeah.
Or if I'm particularly busy. But I do track that actually pretty closely.
Do you think that you would ever go back to any of those books? Is that why you're holding on to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might. I mean, a lot of times, though, it's it was actually too boring.
Okay.
What was the... I'm going to have to find... What was the one about Michigan that got so much acclaim?
Is it that Detroit Once a Great City? Or?
No, I'm blanking on it right now, but give me a second. I'm going to find out.
Yeah, we'll loop back.
Yeah. Look back. Get back to me.
I have a DNF shelf on Goodreads, but I don't put things on it unless it's I'm pretty sure I'm not going back to this.
Okay.
Whereas I have things that are on my currently reading that I have not touched in a year or more.
Okay.
But I fully intend to go back.
Sure.
It was just I'm reading this and yes, this is good. Yes, I want to know how this continues, but now is not the time.
Sure.
And so if I fully just, now I have the DNF shelf. It used to be I would delete it from my currently reading if I wasn't going to come back to it, or didn't know I was going to come back to it. But now I have that DNF shelf, and I'm just like, that's where the TBR like things go to die.
Yeah.
Tom Lake. Tom Lake was so boring to me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, everyone who loves it. Ann Patchett's Tom Lake. And I actually forgot it was Ann Patchett, and I had to remember that Meryl Streep read the audiobook. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Oh my gosh. And I just realized that I misspoke earlier when I was saying TBR and DNF. Two completely different things, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about. Thanks for being there for that.
So we're playing an acronym episode.
Oh my gosh, we must. I'm going to get my acronyms correct next time. Okay. Well, so we have personal reading and we have professional reading, and these are two very different things as librarians, right? I feel like as a youth services librarian, I have to read a certain amount of kids' books. I mean, I just have to keep up on what's out there, what people are reading. There's no way that we can do book discussions unless we have some idea of what the book might be that we're going to be doing those for. And how do we recommend things if we haven't actually read it or have an idea what it's about? So that's like professional reading.
I used to be very I have to read everything I'm book talking. I still will read everything that I'm doing a book discussion for. But when I do book talk visits, a lot of times I haven't read those. And several of them are things that I would like to read at some point. But I also have started prioritizing things that I want to read personally in my personal time.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing a lot less reading of kids' books. But we have our resources. I think we've talked about them on here before about how we find out things about the ones that we aren't reading.
Yeah.
But really choosing for those book discussion groups is the big professional one, and then choosing the titles that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. And for you guys, are you hand selecting the books that you're choosing for book discussion groups, or is that like a list that's created?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do. The unfortunate thing is you don't actually have time when you're getting this list of, 8 to 10 books to read them all before you've committed to them.
So you don't even know in some cases.
No, because they're 300 to 400 pages.
Right.
Times 10.
Yeah. But also that's the beauty of the book club, right? There's going to be books that you don't like or that the people reading it don't like. And then that's a discussion. That's something to talk about, which is kind of cool when that happens. Or that there's a split idea on whether it's liked or not liked.
Yeah. When I'm putting something on a selection list that I will have to talk about in the future, not just a bibliography that we're setting up, I'll try and read the first 2 chapters rapid fire. If I can get through them in 3 or 4 minutes, awesome. Just to sort of get a feel for the writer. So I can try and talk about that a little more.
Okay.
Because I won't have plot to talk about because I don't know it.
Yeah.
So I tend to be very focused on the tone of the book, the mood of the book when I'm pitching things.
Okay. That's cool.
I also really value trusted reviews. So not all reviews are
great.
Some of them I'm like, what are you talking about? That book was terrible, or maybe not terrible, but I didn't like it and they were raving about it. But Kirkus reviews, kirkusreviews.com is my go-to. That's the review that I trust.
Okay.
And that's a big component of my selection process.
Okay.
Well, Kirkus is great because when they have negative opinions, they make sure you know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I
that's
feel like there's a sense of
good.
honesty.
Yeah.
I think sometimes
Little 2 lines at the
So-
end summarizing the whole thing can get vicious.
I do Publishers Weekly generally as part of my responsibilities. We all have a journal that we go through, and I feel like it can be a little wishy-washy, honestly. So, it's I look for the starred reviews and I'll kind of, focus on those and hope that they're legitimate, and I'm sure they're fine. But looking at some of the others, I'm like, oh, this sounds like a really interesting book. And then it's not, like, the review isn't the greatest. So
Yeah, it comes down to how they get into those publications, because some of them it's like pay for your book to be reviewed, and they tend to be much gentler.
Yes.
But it's always interesting to see on, like, in other places where readers post reviews and how different people on those.
That's my favorite. That's what I would much rather read a book review on Reddit or on Goodreads. And sometimes the review is also garbage, and that's okay. But sometimes they're just entertaining, and it's just funny to read. But yeah, I kind of prefer, like, the average person's opinion about books compared to the journals for my personal reading.
Yeah. So we've talked about, book talk programs. For the two youth librarians, how does that differ from, like, a story time pick, where you need to make sure that you're picking something with, like, a craft or an activity or things like that?
So for book talk visits, generally we're talking about going into schools and presenting. Usually we do pretty rapid fire, like several books in a visit. And a lot of times for those, I'm picking things where I'm like, where can I find a book that I'm going to be able to describe in a way that it's exciting to these kids who are listening to just a description of it. For story time, we're actually reading the story to the kids. So you're looking at, how long is this? How readable is it to be the person reading it aloud? Because you've got to hold it in a weird way and be able to read the words on the page.
And attention span is such a big deal.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, I had story time this morning, and it's sometimes you pick a book and you're like, I'm going to give it a try. Mm-hmm. And you realize that, oh, this is not really working for them. And so sometimes you have to edit, and get to the end of the book and say, that's the end of the story. And everyone's like, yay!
I have definitely gone through in storytime books where it's like, this is a great story. It
not
is just
for this.
Very long for story time, and
Yes.
I'll paperclip pages together, and it's just like, and we'll skip a few pages because they're not as important.
Yeah.
Because you can still get things that will match your theme really well. You can use some of those longer books without losing the attention.
And that's the other thing, too, is that our story times typically do have a theme. So you're working with a specific topic and finding books that, suit your age level and fit the theme that you're going for. It makes picking books a little bit easier. With the book talks, it's like open-ended. It's sky's the limit, whatever you like or whatever you think is going to hook these readers in a very short period of time.
Yeah, because we all want to talk about the kids' books that we love.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily the ones we have to book talk.
But it's also we've got 100 kids that we're presenting to because we've got 4 or 5 classes at a time. And, okay, we've got to make sure we're reaching as many of those kids as possible, not just the ones who have the same taste as us.
Yes, exactly. Although gross books go really well for book talks, at least in my opinion. I will read a really a gross nonfiction book. For example, this past year there was a book that came out called Power to the Parasites. Oh. And it's all about parasites in cats, dogs, people, etc., like eating things. There's illustrated pictures. Okay. Anyway, very cool book. Gross. The kids were so excited about it. So you have to be able to fit their interests too. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, what about choosing a book based on format? Do you guys do that?
Yes.
I mean, I do too. Because I don't know, I'm weird about my reading habits. So I always have one audiobook, one ebook, and maybe a physical book, but it might also be another ebook at all times.
So I found that if I'm reading a harder core fantasy, or it's a thicker deal, a lot of world building in it, I need that in audiobook.
Okay.
Because the way that I've learned to read at the pace that I do, if there's a large paragraph chunk, my eyes will glaze right over it.
Okay.
I don't care about descriptions in most books that I'm reading. I'm focusing on the dialogue, focusing on when there's motion in the thing. I don't need to set the scene as much.
Okay.
But in the world building fantasy worlds, I need that information, so I need it given to me in a form where I can't just skip it.
Spoon-fed.
Yes.
That's so interesting because I'm kind of the opposite. I can, like, the dialogue and the quippiness and things like that. Audiobooks, great because it keeps my attention. If I have long descriptions in audiobooks, my attention is off somewhere else. So I tend to be the one who has to sit with those, like, more intense world building, fantasy things, the more lyrical language, anything like that. I'll often, like, I'll read it out loud. I will sit it and read it to my cats because even, like, the language in a lot of that is written in such a way where it's very, it is lyrical and it does sound good. But I have to actually be, like, looking at it and really focusing on it to get it.
Sure.
So similar to Killian, I prefer physical book, or I guess maybe ebook, but, like, I like to see how a lot of the names are made up, right? And so I like to see how they're spelled, and it helps me keep track of who they are.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Especially if there's like 400 characters and you're like, oh my God, is this Gimli or Gamli or Dimly or Dumbly?
And they're often like all like a bunch of G names. So like you have to like see how they're spelled.
Yeah.
I mean, it could go the other way. It could be like, well, I don't know how to pronounce these, so I want someone to read them to me.
That's true, yeah.
But for whatever reason, it really helps me with seeing the spelling.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. I find it very interesting. All right, so how do we like to discover new books? I mean, we talked about a little bit, but like, I don't know, through work. I hear recommendations from you guys, which is cool. I've read a couple things that have been recommended just in on this podcast, but also backroom banter, just hanging out with other librarians. And they're like, oh my God, you got to read this book. And I want to talk to somebody about it. And that's like an awesome way to get a recommendation from somebody. People that love books just like you do. Yeah.
I like to raid the denewing carts when I or my coworkers go through them.
Okay. Denewing.
So the
technical term.
The books that we put on the new shelf tend to stay there for somewhere between 3 or 6 months based on shelf space more often than not. And when they get changed over, one of the library staff members pulls them off and takes the new stickers off, changes it in the system so it sorts to a different place. And I'll have days where I'll just go through and pull down the ones that look weathered already in 3 or 4 months because those are the nice ones, like the ones that people were really interested in.
Yeah.
And just see what they're about.
Oh, that's interesting.
More often than not, I'm not choosing them like for me. But in the professional reading space, those are the ones that I'll try and read 2 or 3 chapters of because if a lot of patrons have been checking them out, then it's going to have word of mouth. More people are going to come in for it. And I want to know something about it.
And it could be a good fit for a book discussion group.
Yeah. Could be good for one of my book clubs.
Yeah.
I could end up being really interested in it.
Yeah. Cool.
Our new shelf doesn't work that way.
It does not.
No, it doesn't.
Ours go on there and then they get checked out and then when they come back, they go to the normal shelves. But we set them aside before they go to that new shelf and we always get to take a look through them behind the desk. So
you can put a sticky note on one if you're interested in it. It gets set aside for you.
Yeah.
So you get first dibs on it, which is cool.
But that's generally it's that and journals and stuff for kids' books.
Yeah.
For my personal reading, though, it's a lot of it is Drew, if I'm being honest. But it's, like you said, it's people talking about things at work. It's also social media. I follow a lot of people, even like local people, who talk about books on their Instagram and things like that. And one of them is a local bookseller, and he and I have very similar reading taste. So if he's talking about it, he's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm like, okay, well, I have to read it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but finding new books is also the main reason that I'm still on Goodreads.
Okay.
Is I don't really care about like tracking my books. Like I'll do it when I'm on there because it's collaborative and I like finding like-minded people on there. But I don't care about like the stats element of it, or I would have already moved to Storygraph where they do a lot more with the statistics. I'm there for the exploratory features and the feed of other people's comments that I've built up. And
I also love their ever-changing list of topics. Like today it was something about best new horror. And I'm like, well, I got to look at that. I mean, obviously I'm on my way here at the time. I'm like, I can't look at this right now. I'll come back. But, they'll, based on season or whatever, they'll constantly have like 2 areas on Goodreads generally where they have lists of items that they post. And I usually find good stuff on there, even if it's not even a topic I typically read about. I might still find a book that I can throw on my to-be-read list.
They've done a cool thing in the last couple of years where every season, like the first 3 months, the second 3 months, etc., they'll put out 5 additional challenges.
Oh.
That are like collections of read a short story in this period, read a mystery in this period, whatever.
Read one of these top read books of last year in this period.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you finding this? I have not seen that.
Page.
There's a challenges page?
There's a challenges page.
Jeez, oh,
I'll show you
Pete.
later.
I must be missing like half of the whole thing. Do you know about this?
No, I don't. And I go to my Goodreads probably at least once a week.
I'm there like every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I poke around a lot.
So the page where it has like the blank bookmark icons that are like January reader, February reader, etc. Mm-hmm. At the end of that, you can click on more challenges, and that's where you get these guys.
Oh my God, I don't even know.
My Goodreads is probably outdated, my purposes for it. I follow several librarians, which is a great way to find good new books. It's like, what are the other librarians reading? And sometimes they're youth librarians, adults, academic, whatever. And then I do my own tracking and my own little categories. Beyond that, I don't do a whole lot, except I will look at people's reviews, and that's super helpful. Mm-hmm. But no, the challenges I'm not aware
I don't know
of,
about
and I
these
need
things.
to be.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
It's a good time.
Cool.
There was something I saw lately that was talking about, I think it was a Book Riot article, talking about people getting down on people for tracking their reading.
Oh.
And how...
Why?
Because they say it makes it like homework. And it was arguing that, no, it's not homework, it's a game. And that's, Goodreads is an online game for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's how this
absolutely.
works.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it takes the responsibility and the boredom out of it when you're just like, oh, I read something and I'm going to mark it down. I don't know. The book challenge thing, it really gets me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know other people that they don't even care and it's fine. But I start getting upset if I'm behind, and I'm like, oh no,
I'm so
I have
far
to
ahead right now. It's
catch
wild.
something. Well, there you go.
It'll die off later, and then I'll be behind again. But I am starting strong.
And then Killian, I think you mentioned NetGalley as well.
Yeah, there's a few different places that you can get advanced reader copies. Sometimes we get them sent to the library, and we'll get boxes of physical advanced reader copies. But I have been on NetGalley since I started in libraries. My first librarian job in 2014 is when I started my NetGalley account, and so I get emails from them with things that they think I'll like or things that they're pushing out to everyone, which sometimes is interesting to come to me. But there's other times that I'm like, they know me too well. Because there'll be this whole list of things, then it's like, these are all coming out in the next 6 months. And I'm like, and request. Oh, I'm auto-approved for this request. And it's great. It's how I get a lot of my Berkeley romances before they come out. It's how I get a lot of my tour books before they come out, which is cool because then I know before we get them into the library if they're going to be things that I want to tell people about.
Sure.
Usually I'm telling Drew about them because he's the adult and teen services librarian of the pair of us. And it's like, Drew, you got to read this. You got to tell people about it.
So is NetGalley open to everybody, or is it just people that are kind of in a bookish work environment?
I believe that one is more open to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Publishers will look at kind of your profile before deciding if they're going to approve you for things.
Okay.
I have a lot of auto approvals because I've been on there as a librarian for so long.
Yeah.
And part of the deal with that is that you are submitting feedback on the ARCs and you're posting reviews. Mm-hmm. So when you finish something, you go in and you put your review in, and then you also put links to any reviews you've posted on social media.
Yeah.
And so there's a feedback
ratio, I think they call it.
There we go. Or
Yeah, and I
percentage
think
or
it's
something
got to be
that.
like 80% or something.
I mean, mine's not, and I still get things. So, but again, longevity.
yeah. Once I realized it was 80%, I had to like go in there and I was like, oh no, I'm requesting too many books.
And different publishers have different things that they're looking for. Some are looking to see, does this person post to social media about it a lot? Some are just wanting the feedback. So it's always worth a shot. The worst they can say is no, and then you're no worse off than you were before.
Totally. All right. What are some other places that we look for book recommendations?
I like book clubs. So obviously the library has a lot of book clubs, but I feel like everyone has a book club right now. So, I mean, you have your big celebrities, Jenna, Reese, etc. But I think someone recently sent me a book club link from, it was like a news broadcaster, like doing like a nonfiction, which is really cool because there's a lot of people that are interested in nonfiction books. But Roxane Gay, I love her book club. She's a writer. She wrote Bad Feminist. She wrote Hunger. She is very like literary. She's for your MFA folks. But so her books are really good. Chani Nichols has a book club who is an astrologer.
Okay.
So if
I
you're
know
like,
Chani Nichols. Yeah. Okay.
So like she's very social justice minded.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be probably highlighting books that have like a real message or someone from a marginalized community. But like because I resonate with those people's content, I tend to like the books they recommend.
Totally.
Along the same lines, a lot of online communities or like there's people I watch on Twitch stream video games also in their Discord servers will have a book club.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah,
so
I love that.
Everyone has a book club.
I do not participate in most of them because one, I struggle with being assigned a book, and two, I simply don't have time to do them all. But it's very cool to see what they're reading, and I have read a few things that have come from those after the fact.
Very cool. All right. Well, I have a couple questions, situational questions for you guys. Maybe we'll do like two. How does that sound? Okay. What book would you want to read if you were going to be in an airport for 12 hours? Like, let's say you have a really long layover. What book would you reach for?
So for me, I approached this as though I was stuck in an airport for 12 hours and didn't already have access to like a book that I might have brought on a trip.
Yeah,
or
no
whatever.
e-readers with you.
So things that are like something I might find in an airport bookshop. For me right now, that would be the next Dan Brown book.
Okay.
I was really into those when they first came out. And like the interesting Tom Hanks movies. I don't know if I can call them good, but the well-made Tom Hanks movies.
There you go.
I was very into them at the time, but he hasn't come out with a book in a number of years, and I sort of tabled that as a relic of my reading past. And, and now that it's back, it
might be like a comfort.
Exactly.
Because you already kind of know the formula.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Killian, what would you grab?
I think for me, I'd be going for, and these might not have been in airport bookshops for a while, but now with them being more common on things like TikTok and Instagram, I'm going to go for one of the bigger, more epic fantasy things. I'm going to go for Prior of the Orange Tree or one of the ones that has been on my TBR that is a really popular book, but is big and therefore going to eat up that time, but also has the more world building and lyrical language that I can get into and just kind of like ignore everything around me. You didn't say I don't have my noise canceling headphones, so I have those. I'm gonna have my music, and I will be reading.
Nice.
I took this to mean something that like I want that's like really meaty to keep me engaged and also longer because I have the time. So my first thought was Jonathan Franzen.
Okay.
So he is in the midst of his Crossroads trilogy. 1 out of 3 books have come out. He says the next one is coming out soon. I'm anxiously awaiting. But all of his books, he also did Corrections. He did Freedom, Purity. All of them are longer, like big character development, lots of like family characters, and they keep me super engaged.
Okay, cool. The book that I chose is Demon Copperhead by
Nice.
Barbara Kingsolver. I really did not know anything about this book at all, but it kept kind of popping up in our friend's bookstore at the library. And I kept looking at it, and I'm like, that's such an interesting name. I wonder what this book is about. And I finally read it, and it's wonderful. It is such a good book. I think what I love the most about it is the language and the way things are described. I think that that's the type of thing that, just like Killian, would kind of pull me out of my present circumstance of being stuck in an airport for a long time, but also like really kind of digging into the meat of the characters that are really great.
You are the second person in as many days in my circle of like people I talk to about books who has mentioned reading that book. And like, I remember it coming out. Mm-hmm. And so for it to just pop up in two places at once.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Wild.
Okay. Well, that sounds like you need to read it.
Apparently.
Okay. All right. One more question. What do you recommend when someone says, I don't like to read?
Graphic novels.
Graphic novels.
Dude, that's so easy.
I go straight for the IP that they'll be maybe a little more familiar with,
Sure.
or
Yeah.
something that can catch them in a way that's more than the words on a page.
Sure.
Because clearly that's not resonating with them yet.
Totally.
There's so many genres of graphic novels. So if they've got a superhero they like, great. If they're into fantasy, there's a bunch of fantasy ones. If they just want slice of life realistic, there's all of that. And it's not as intimidating. Mm-hmm. So if you've got someone, well, I don't like reading. It's not a big time investment. It's not a huge effort investment. Give it a shot.
Sure. Sure. Cool.
I would say, well, Frida McFadden. She is like my guilty pleasure when I need to turn my brain off. She's like the equivalent of watching like Real Housewives or something. Okay. It just like moves really fast. The chapters are like 3 pages. And if someone thinks that like reading is hard or they have trouble paying attention, I think that that's a good one to go to. It's just like sort of fluffy, light calorie, but like enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I feel like the graphic novels would probably be kind of the best umbrella thing to advise to people for sure. I mean, even for kids. And we've had an entire episode about graphic novels. Yep. Please go back to that and you can hear all about how I feel about that. I would recommend for kids a book called The Swifts by Beth Lincoln. And the reason why I recommend that book is because it is a mystery and it is very silly and there's a lot of interesting language bits in there. There's also murder. So,
and there's
I
murder.
mean, just because it's me. But it's just a book that I think is really enjoyable and can definitely pull somebody through. It is hands down my kids' favorite book that we've ever read to them, and we've read some really good, juicy ones. Nice. For adult, I would recommend Fairy Tale by Stephen King. And that's probably just me being me. But that is such a damn good book. It is such a damn good book. And I feel like it's got everything. It's got like the fantasy, it's got the spooky, it's got like real good characters that are kind of going through it and everything in between.
I guess I would probably recommend Stephen King to most people too.
Yeah.
Because like he's got enough books that are like horror, thriller, you know.
It's
like,
all over the place.
All over
you
the
can
place.
find a book about anything.
On the easier side to read, lots of page turning.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here nodding, having never read a Stephen King book.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Wow. You are probably so sick and tired of me. Wow. Okay. Well, we would love to know how you as listeners find books for yourselves. And also, we want to talk really quickly about our book club.
Speaking of everyone has a book club these days.
Yeah.
We're starting a book club.
Woohoo! So basically what we're going to do, I guess this is how it's going to work, where one of us is going to select a book, and then we're going to take a couple months to come back to it, and then we will discuss it. So we'll announce the book ahead of time so you can read along with us. We would love it if you read along with us. And then we will have a whole episode discussing that book in the future. Mm-hmm. Anything else to add?
Are we announcing the book?
Yes.
Since the next episode is going to be the book club.
Well, there you go.
They probably want to know what the book is.
Our book is going to be Thorn Hedge by T. Kingfisher. And it is a novella. So it's really easy. And I hope that you guys enjoy it.
Also, it is available through audiobook on Hoopla.
There.
So if you can't find the physical book, it's checked out, try Hoopla.
Nice. All right. Well, that's all for now, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Distracted Librarians.
Many thanks to BCTV for their support in recording, editing, and releasing this podcast, and to the Friends of the Library for sponsoring closed captioning on every episode.
If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to us at distracted@btpl.org.
Until then, keep those pages turning and those screens lighting up. We'll catch you in the next episode.
The views and opinions expressed in the Distracted Librarians podcast do not necessarily reflect those of Bloomfield Township Public Library, Bloomfield Community Television, the Birmingham Area Cable Board, or its producers or production staff.